Hi, my name is Monica Blanca, and this is my Module 11 case study over Everyday Counts. So, Everyday Counts case study. So, what is happening and when and where did certain events occur? So, Golden Oaks High School is experiencing a decline in their students attendance rating. Mr. Newman, the school district superintendent, expressed concerns to Mr. Rhodes about the decline in attendance, specifically stating that last year the school had the lowest percentage of student attendance among all high schools in the district. Mr. Rhodes set out to develop an improved data-informed and equitable resource plan by investigating the reasoning behind the decline of attendance ratings. So who was involved? So Mr. Rhodes, the principal, chose to examine 5 out of 959, should be 509 students who had missed more than 10 academic school days during the first semester. The 5 students are Karen, Tyrone, Christine, Carl, and John. So I made a bulleted list about information regarding each student. However, since this is the 4th time I've recorded it, since I don't have I keep going over in time, I'm just going to read aloud the things that I thought were important regarding each student. So something important about the student was when she was a freshman and sophomore, she was an A and B student. However, now and she was on the National Honor Society. However, now as an 11th grader, her quality of work has been declining, and she actually missed one midterm this past semester, and this might be a result of the fact that she was married this past August. And something that I thought was interesting, so I started at the bottom, was a student typically misses Mondays or Fridays. So I'd be very interested to see whether or not this data correlates to the fact that she was recently married and what it is that she's doing on the weekends that means that she can't show up on Mondays or Fridays. Another thing that was interesting regarding the student was that the parent requested a meeting through the counselor with her teachers. However, the counselor failed to meet with both Karen or the parents. My next student is Tyrone. So Tyrone is a 10th grader. And he typically shows an average of progress with academic progress within his classes, even with his excessive absences. And the reasoning behind his absences have been the fact that he's been traveling to Washington D.C. and to Canada. The parents assured the homeroom teacher, that the classwork would be completed within 1 week of returning from his, traveling. And I'm sure he did, since, he's continuing to have an average progress within his classes, even through after the absences. Something interesting was that the parents' reason that these trips would be, for educational excursion, educational purposes, and that might have been why the homeroom teacher approved these absences. However, one, we'll talk about later, the teacher did not have the authorities to do that, and two, this school only allows for 3 personal days to be excused. So that Tyrone's extra absences should not have been excused. So then another student is Christina. So Christina has missed 3 consecutive days throughout different weeks of the school. So these reasonings have been due to the fact of attending out-of-town church meetings, and they were documented for and signed by the minister, but those documentations failed to provide information such as dates and times and locations, and so they weren't that informative as to did she really need to miss those 3 days throughout the semester. Um, Something that I also found very interesting was that the homeroom teacher approved these excused absences, which should not have done, again. However, the algebra teacher did request a parent conference. So I thought it was interesting in that why didn't this homeroom teacher, before approving these absences, why didn't this homeroom teacher reach out to Christina's other teachers to ensure that they were comfortable and okay with Christina missing these extra days? Because maybe that algebra teacher could have relayed the message of they weren't comfortable and they don't feel that Christina should have missed those extra days. So Carl's a 10th grader. So he attends regular classes in the morning and vocational classes in the afternoon. There are no, patterns for his attendance, and he was actually sent to truancy. When the truancy officer went to his house, there seemed to be a lack of support amongst the parents. And 2 things that I thought were interesting with Carl that I would like to see was, one, I would like to have the data, since he has younger and brothers, sisters at feeder schools, to see whether or not they're also having excessive absences at their school, and whether or not those days correlate with Carl's. And I highly doubt the principal has this, has this information available to him, but I would be very interested to see whether or not Carl's also seeing there's also an excess absences within the vocational classes that Carl's attending. In addition, John is an 11th grader. He's a quarterback who has an injury, so he misses 2 days out of every week from 12:30 to 2:30 to attend physical therapy. And the did not report these excessive absences, and something that I thought was very, very interesting was the athletic director requested the student be excused from Friday afternoon classes to go home and rest during the football season. So I thought it would be very, very interesting to have the information regarding all athletes within the school, not just football players, to see whether or not they're also missing repeatedly their game days in their afternoons to go home and rest, and to see why is that being excused, and see if we're seeing a pattern throughout all sports students. So legal and ethical issues. So according to Mr. Newman, the school district superintendent Golden Oaks High School attendance policy aligns with state laws, which allows excessive absences only for illnesses, death, and immediate family, inclement weather, and or valid reasons excused by the principal with prior approval. Furthermore, the school allows for 3 excused absences for personal reasons. In this case of Golden Oaks High School, the homeroom teacher has been approving excusing excessive absences without first receiving prior authorization from the school principal. In addition, homeroom teachers have been approving excused absences without first asking input from the students' other teachers. And secondly, the athletic director has unjustifiably been requesting excused absences for varsity players. In these cases, teachers were not notifying the principal of excessive absences. And lastly, the school counselor has been negligible in addressing parent concerns regarding their students' academic performance. So who was harmed? So in the case of excessive absences, whether reported or not reported, the students involved are the ones harmed by these actions. 2 out of 5 of the students examined were reported to have a decline in student achievement and academic performance. However, further informed data could had helped indicate that this number might be higher. School attendance benefits society as well as individuals. Society reaps benefits from education and informed citizenry, while individuals are able to realize greater economic benefits by not prioritizing school attendance. Students are placed at a disadvantage when they enter society and the workforce. So, breach of contract. According to the case study, teachers are accountable for accurate documentation of student attendance. When school teachers choose not to accurately record or inform themselves of their school district's regulations, policies, and require documentation about school attendance, they could potentially be in breach of contract of their school district's attendance regulation and with the state law. It mentioned in the case study that most of the teachers who work here are well-seasoned teachers and are not new teachers. So they should all be well aware of these state law regulations. So what has happened? When stakeholders such as school personnel, parents, and students are not consistent in recognizing and upholding the school district's regulations, policies, and required documentation regarding school attendance, this results in a decline in school improvement and student development. So, people. So there are a total of 965 students at Golden Oaks High School. Students represent a variety of male and female students from grades 9 through 12, and specific race and ethnicity of students is unknown. However, the school district used to not be so diverse, but has seen a recent increase in both the Hispanic and Asian population. Students are also offered many opportunities for extracurricular activities, including 11 different sports teams and 31 different clubs. So place. Most of the students' parents work in a metropolitan area adjacent to the community. However, some parents are professional people who work for a local industry or manage small businesses of their own. In addition, most parents spend 1 to 2 hours commuting to work each day, which means that they have little time to support their children both academically and in their extracurricular activities. Most of the students come from middle-income families, but some live in poverty, while others are from high-income families. So, the program. So, Golden Oaks High School is one of the high schools located within its district. This high school houses 965 students from grades 9 through 12. In previous years, this high school was recognized for its achievements in being the highest rate of attendance amongst all high schools in the district. However, in recent years, approximately 85% of the students' population has missed 10 or more days from school each year. This school has had a low turnover rate around teachers. And Mr. Rhodes is a new first-year principal at Golden Oaks High School. He is a candidate who successfully completed a building-level educational leadership preparation program and understands and demonstrates the capacity to promote the current and future success and well-being of each student and adult. He has been working and collaborating with Dr. Newman to develop a data-informed and equitable resource plan that will support school improvement and student development in an attempt to address declining student attendance rate. So, damage to stakeholders. The rapid decline in student attendance is damaging to all stakeholders involved, including but not limited to student personnel, parents, and students. So, Under the legal doctrine of parens patriae, this gives states the authority to provide for the welfare of adults and children as the father to all persons. Since education is considered vital to the welfare of the state, states may require parents to send their children to school. Children have the right to be protected not only by physical abuse, but also against the ignorance of their parents. In addition, Golden Oaks High School attendance policy correlates with the state's law, which claims that it allows excused absences for only illnesses, death in the immediate family, inclement weather, or valid reasons excused by the principal with prior approval. A majority of the teachers at Golden Oaks High School are seasoned teachers with more than 10 years of experience, which means they should be well acquainted with these regulations and policies. So, parents and school personnel should be held accountable for their part that took place in the lack of accountability in student attendance. In order for learning to take place, students must be in school, since every day counts by making a difference in the degree of sustained learning that occurs. Students' attendance directly correlates with the student's academic achievement and performance. So what could I do? So these are some possible solutions. So teacher and school personnel need to be retrained and informed of the school attendance policy. So you must stress that this policy correlates with state laws, and must inform that if attendance policies or regulations are not followed, consequences could occur to the teachers. Parents need to be legally held accountable for their students' attendance. Advise parents of students with low attendance rating of possible consequences that could occur, and then if they choose to continue to ignore, report parents who continue to ignore attendance policy to truancy. We also need to work on building positive relationships among teachers to students, school personnel with each other, and school personnel with parents. And then develop an equitable resource plan that students must follow in regards to attendance. Share resources with teachers, counselors, parents, athletic directors, personnel, students, etc. And plans must be followed in order to attend school sports, clubs, and events. So these are our students' solutions, pros, and cons. So teachers and school personnel need to be retrained and informed of the school's attendance policy. So these are some of the pros. This will ensure that all school personnel are informed about the proper procedures that need to take place regarding the students' attendance. Cons: up until this point, there has been low teacher turnover rate, and this could leave some of the experienced teachers unhappy and end up with them leaving the school. Solution: parents need to be legally held accountable for their students' attendance. Pro: parents are affirmed of the legal obligations to their students, but cons: parents can be left feeling unhappy with the school's decision, and many parents could also end up being sent to truancy as a result of refusal to follow attendance policy. Building positive relationships. Pro: help ensure that everyone is in accordance in order to promote continued student academic success. Con: with new policies, some individuals can be left feeling disgruntled and can refuse to partake in building positive relationships. And then solution: develop equitable resource plan that students must follow in regards to attendance. Pro: having a written policy that is accessible to all parties provides a framework to help explain that all stakeholders why a certain action decision is the right one under the circumstances. And cons: does not guarantee willingness or acceptance from stakeholders such as staff, parents, and students, etc. So this is the solution that I chose. So after reviewing the possible solution, my action plan would be to combine developing an equitable resource plan that students must follow in regards to attendance and training teachers and school personnel in the school's attendance policy. This policy will need to clarify state law regulations and policies regarding student attendance, how the plan will correlate with sport clubs and events, and possible consequences that could occur if not followed. In addition, this resource will need to be shared with all stakeholders in order to ensure that all parties are aware and informed of the district state law policies. Implementing the plan. First, assemble committees to design an equitable attendance resource plan. Second, share and inform resource with all stakeholders. Third, provide professional development to all school personnel regarding the equitable attendance resource plan. Fourth, provide all stakeholders with a data-informed presentation regarding updates attendance resource plan. Fifth, track continued attendance rating throughout the semester. And sixth, follow consequences as deemed necessary for continued lack of attendance. So that is my presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.